Hey everybody, welcome back to Mud and Rust Workshop. Today we're going to be working with our Jandy pool pump again. You can see it here in the background. We have a couple of error codes on it that we're going to address that are not in the basic manual. I'm going to show you those in just a second, but essentially it's going to be down to our combination salinity flow temperature sensor, an issue with it. So we're going to take a look at that. I'm going to show you the codes up first, and then we're going to show you the fix and the repair. I'll drop a link below to the part that we use to fix this so you can pick it up yourself on Amazon. Takes a couple days to get there, pretty reasonably priced. So before we get started, I've already removed the panel. You can see it down here to this unit. If you are not comfortable with electricity, please do not even bother. Call somebody that is. I'm pretty comfortable with it, but I'm involved in this stuff in a work setting as well. All right, so I just kicked it on. You're gonna see a JO come up, and we're gonna see this for a few minutes while the pump is running and we're checking for flow. I'm gonna cut the video here, and I'll come back when the error codes actually show up. All right, you can see that we're trying to do 100% chlorine production. If you look close, you can see no flow, and you see the JO and L0 codes, which JO just means that we've got it in our service mode, no flow, the pump is running, and we have water coming out of our little spray bar thing, so we know we have flow. So the only other thing to check is the L0. L0 is actually an indication for temperature, which comes out of the same sensor. And if you hit your full temp, you can actually see it jumping around all over the place, and it's 85 degrees here today, and the water's pretty high too. So, and you can see we actually popped up a different code, looks like, which I'm not sure what that is. So, multiple things pointing to the flow salinity sensor. So we're going to turn everything off. Turn everything off. We're going to kill the power to everything, and we're going to get started replacing it. So this is a pretty easy swap. I've actually done this one time before. This is the old sensor indicator, and you can see kind of on the diagrams here, the flow salinity temp sensors all go to this J13. If you look kind of in the very back, I'm gonna try to zoom in here, you can see temp there on the board. So it's this cable here. So we're gonna pull that out and see if we can get it replaced. So it's pretty easy to replace. Really, you just pull this out and kind of push it back down through the panel, through our opening. And the next thing we'll do is actually pull it out of our saltwater generator. So we'll just loosen this up and it'll be ready to come out. All right, so here you can see our old sensor. You can see it's a flow temp salinity sensor. The only difference is this is revision C, this is revision D. It's gonna come with a couple of zip ties and an O-ring. You'll need that O-ring, and we'll actually put it right here inside the sensor housing, so that when we tighten it up, we don't have any leaks. So I'm gonna get all that ready to go back in, and we'll pop it back in, and we will go and see if it fixed our issue. Just as a note, I mentioned earlier, this is the part number, the R0452500, and I'll drop a link below to Amazon where you can pick it up if you need to replace. All right, so we got everything ready to go back in. You can see the cell is back in our threaded port, and you can see here we do have this little notch that we have to make sure we line up with. So it does make your, at least in our case anyway, your sensor appear sideways. So we're gonna get that tightened up and we're gonna run our cable. Now when you get ready to run your cable, make sure you pay attention to these two little tabs on the bottom of your connector. If you look up back at your board, you can see those two little tabs are gonna go beside that plastic piece on the bottom right there. So just something to make sure whenever you orient it correctly. All right, and you can see we've got it plugged back in, got our tabs on either side, and we should be good to go. So let's power everything back up. We're gonna turn it on and we're gonna see if that fixed our issue. All right, so while we're waiting for the flow sensor to detect everything, one good sign is we can go back and check our temperature, and we're reading a solid 85, which is probably pretty accurate. So we're gonna wait and make sure our cell detects flow and it kicks on, but it looks like everything's good so far. All right, so we're detecting flow. Our cell is back on generating chlorine again. We do still have the J0 because we're in service mode, but everything looks 86 degrees. Everything looks like it's back working like it should be. So it's a good repair. Issue ended up being our sensor. So pretty simple fix. It really takes about 10 minutes. But in our case, we got to put our panel back on and all these screws, of course. But it seems to have fixed our issue. Like always, I appreciate you guys watching. This is our Jandy pump. We've got a couple other videos on here where we've had to work on it over the years. Pretty simple system to maintain. Not a whole lot of time or money spent on it. I do have to replace pumps every few years, flow sensor every, I think that's my second flow sensor. So it's not without issues, but pretty simple to work on, simple to maintain. So check out those other videos if you need them. And like always, we appreciate you guys watching.